Welcome to One Take Wine. What are we even doing here? Well, I've got 3 wines today. It's been sub-zero temperatures here in Sweden. I don't know why cold is conducive to wine drinking, but so is heat, and so is everything in between. It has been open overnight. A wonderful, wonderful, rich pineapple, salty caramel, hazelnut, without the burnt part of the hazelnut, you know? Maybe more almondy. This is much less strict and severe than it was yesterday when I opened it. Almost a little too severe in a way, but still so wonderfully clean and properly balanced, you know, a proper wine. And that impression is here today, but it's just a bit more generous today, and it's still holding back a lot in reserve. I think this is one of those wines that's got potential written all over it. I really enjoy these. I think they're not very intense, and so that'll be the knock on them, I would say, from some corners, I'm sure. But the underlying material is actually quite the opposite. There's a tremendous seam of energy just waiting to explode out of this. It's the Kevin John, the Cullen wines, Margaret River, Chardonnay 2021, 13% alcohol. Cullen, I really like their wines, I have to say. They're biodynamic, and they make everything proper. And when you go through the range, you know, of wines, it doesn't really matter what price point you're at. It's always a high quality wine, which makes for instance, they have a Semillon Sauvignon blend that costs almost nothing. And when that comes, I snap up lots and lots of that, because it's such a well-made, proper glass of wine. It doesn't have the class of this. It doesn't have the sheer sort of presence of this, but boy, oh boy, that's a really great wine. They do everything under screw cap. There's no corks. The plus of that is that you're not going to end up with corked wines. The minus of that is, even when you drink some of the older red, I've had going back, it's not old, but 01 and 02. And, you know, they hadn't budged. So, I mean, there's that. You don't get that kind of slow oxygen sort of effect, which was the original intent of cork. But at the same time, I kind of understand the winemaker, her quest for purity. To me, that's what's going on here. Second wine, oof, look at this. I mean, this I opened yesterday as well, and we're towards the end of it now. We're in the dregs a little bit. There is a sweet red note in there, but the rest of it is taken over by earth and dark chocolate. Tannins are pretty much resolved. It's not a very pleasant wine, though. It's a kind of meh wine, you know. We have a Nuits Saint-Georges here, 1991, and it's from Liger Belair. It's Nuits Saint-Georges by Saint-Georges, so it's considered the highest level. And in some quarters, they're promoting for Grand Cru. This would never, I have trouble seeing this as Premier Cru right now. I bought it because of 1991. 1991 is a great vintage in Burgundy, so yeah. Or in my opinion, it is. But this has got no drive to it. It's still alive, and it's still present, and it's not particularly drying tannin, which Nuits Saint-Georges can be, very tannic. Still fairly coherent, you might say, you know what I mean? It's not a crazy wine, it's not off the rails kind of going nuts or anything like that, but the flavors themselves don't appeal to me at all. I'm not gonna spend any more time with that. It's okay. That's about as far as I'll go. Third wine. Wow, you know, the color actually, it is starting to get a little, it is aged, but it's not, you know, it's not completely bricked. It's not completely orange. There's a lovely nose kind of going on here because it's, it's very dessert oriented a little. Marzipan-y kind of feel to it. That's what I think is going on there. Real umami. And then there's a greenness that I always note in this type of wine, where this wine comes from. But the kind of that beautiful depth of sweetness, of kind of luscious fruit and the marzipan sweetness. Still young. This is young and not tired at all. It's not a super driven wine, but I can taste that it probably never was a really super driven wine. The tannins are in balance. Everything's in check. It has good length, but it's a persistent length. It's not a driving one. I think you get a little bit of mushroom in here too, some umami. And I love that greenness. It's a kind of a refreshing, herbal, but a very fresh herb, you know. Yeah, it's quite a good wine. I'm quite impressed with it. If you can get it at the right price, it's worth pursuing. This is the 1982 Rauzan Ségla. If I have to explain why I bought this, then something's wrong. I've had a lot of luck with Rauzan Ségla because I'm maybe less fussy. I don't need wines with a lot of body to them. I need wines, I prefer elegance anyway. So I think Rauzan Ségla has always prioritized elegance over, you know, that sort of muscular effort. I recently talked about in a previous video about a 1993 that we'd had sitting in a warm kitchen for 10 years. And you know, they came out fabulous. I mean, it's not going to change the way you look at wine. It's not that kind of fabulous. It's more just, how can it still be so good and in such great shape and, you know, still delivering and still very elegant. There's no hint that this is 82. I wouldn't go 82 on this. It is a bit soft. It could be a little bit more driven. I will say that. But I will also say that I'm going to keep this open for another 6 hours or something. And I promise you it's going to develop in that time. You can just smell it. You just know. It reminds me of a Chateau Margaux. The greenness in that little thing is a Chateau Margaux greenness that I've come to love with Chateau Margaux. This, of course, doesn't have the same presence. It doesn't have the same shoulders to stand on. What a lovely wine. What a lovely wine. If you can get them under 100 euros at auction, you know, you should just pick them up. Why not? They're drinking beautifully. And it's a quality house, obviously. That's all I had for this time. Thank you so much for watching, and stay thirsty.